Okay, we're fixing to trim this excess off of here. Take the clamps off, turn it over like this. All right, as you can see, what we're probably going to do is just go right down that line right there, trimming that off. That's why you need a good sharp knife. It makes a world of difference when you're doing this part right here. I go around it real lightly because you don't want to get up on that edge and cut it. And I go back over it. Then I turn it over. Now, the middle of your knife, the middle of your sheath is going to be right here. Make a little mark there so you'll know. All right, when you fold that sheath, you need to come back about 1/4 of an inch and make that cut real lightly. If you go down hard, you're going to cut all the way through the sheath. Then just pull that up with the glue. All right, and you got, that's what it looks like. So go on and fold it over and walk it down, and that's what you end up with, this whole thing like that. All right, back over to glue and table. Now we're going to do just like we did the other side. We're going to come take some of this stain out of here with the sanding. Now the difference is we don't have to sand this piece because it's the raw side up, and it's going to glue just fine like that. All right, so we're going to take the glue, start on this side, and run it right down here, and then just go ahead and overlap that just a little bit. Come right down through here. We're going to meet this side with it. All right, I'll let that set just a minute. Let it get tacky, and then we're going to pull it together and glue it. All right, we're going to fold this over, and what we're going to do is you're going to line these two edges up with the very top of this, and then you're going to want to pin it. Okay, and that's what we got. Now, you can see it's taking shape. Once the glue dries on this and it's good and hard, which will be the next step we do, we will sand these edges off, then bring it back and paint the edges black. Okay, come over to the sander. And we're going to lightly sand it, not put a lot of pressure on it, just real light. It don't take a lot, it really don't. All right, now we're coming over to the drill. We are fixing to start putting holes in it. All right, that's it. Remember, we took this and made the marks, and so when you go back to drill the holes, you just find those marks, and that's where each hole is going to go. And then we'll be ready to paint the edge and burnish it and get it ready to sew. I got it over here ready to paint the edges on it. I use the Phoebing's black dye on the edge. So it takes about 3, maybe 4 good coats of this for it to cover like I like it. You just go down through here, just lightly paint the edge of this. All right, and go back over it with a second coat on it. All right, now at this point, I would say give it a few minutes and let it dry, and then we're going to come back and get the edges and get it prepped to stain. Okay, now then, as you can tell, we've got the edge blacked in. Now, what we're going to do is go back over the black on this side and on this side again. Just kind of touch it up, because sometimes when you're drilling, you got a little scratch here, a little scratch there. All right, and turn it over on this side. Okay, now we're going to have to take just a few minutes, and we're going to let that dry. All right, now that's dry. We're fixing to go down the edges and the sides here. All right, with that stain, go straight down the top of your edge, and then I always go down the side here where I've drilled, because there's always going to be a few imperfections in that from putting that on the drill and doing. All right, got that. Now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to close that up and put that over here. We're fixing to put a little of this sheen down the side. So we just find a good clean place on this rag, as clean as it can be. This isn't a very complicated process right here. You just go down the side like that. All right, now then, we're going to let that sit and let that dry a little bit. And the next thing we'll do is the beeswax. Well, I tell you what, that looks like it's dried. Dried pretty quick. All right, this is just beeswax. A little old tube of beeswax I ordered. Put it on this side right here and go down the edge. Then turn it over and go down the edge on this side with it. And then go right down the middle. Now, there's no perfect formula for it. All right, now we're going to go over here and put it on the burnisher and burnish these edges. All right, got the burnisher on. All right, we're going to take this like this and just run it right down on the top of that, and then turn the edge sideways. All right, then we're going to put it right down the middle. Okay, that gets those edges all cleaned up, rounded off, and that middle. And folks, we're ready to sew up. This is a little stitching pony I made myself. right, now we got this marked. What I did, I put the knife in it, brought it over. That's where the snap's gonna go. I made a mark with my little awl here. So we're gonna cut the edge on it first. We're gonna take this and touch up the outside edge just a tad with it. Darken it up a little bit. All right, next step, take our handy dandy little snap tool. We're going to take the two parts that go on the outside and the punch. So we put the punch in the center of the hole, punch it through. All right, now this is going to go on the front. So you put it in first, then lay it on that, and then you put the back in. Then we lay out our tool here. 3 taps with that. Put this on it. Okay, now then, if we marked it right, that snaps, and that's what you're looking for. Now I'll show you another little trick. If you'll look, the strings on this are white, and I want to get you real close in there to see the difference in this. When you finish, before the last thing I always do, take a knife, come down through here like that, and it sets those strings, and they turn a little bit whiter shade than what they were. Anyway, folks, that's it. Got the knife, got it made. The only thing I like now on it is putting it over on that engraver and putting the initials on it, and we're going to have to do that next week. Thank y'all, and like I said, y'all stay safe. Hope y'all have a great Saturday afternoon, a great Sunday. Don't know what the weather's going to do, but it'll be what it'll be. Just remember one thing. Thank God in the good times. Praise God in the good times. Lean on God in the bad times. That's what gets us through. It's only through His grace and His love that we're able to get through this life. Let's keep Him first in our life. Let's keep Him first on whatever we do. That's why Paul could say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Y'all have a great day.